questo film corto dei due registi ci è sembrato al momento della selezione un segno molto particolare nell'ambito della selezione Orizzonti, nel senso che si è visto l'anno scorso qui in concorso a Venezia il film di Mario Martone che ripercorreva un momento, diciamo così,
was about the moment of the unification of Italy, and today we have the anniversary. And so we can see that from another part of the country we have a new voice, a new point of view that has something in common with the work by Martone. Because, well, maybe strangely, but we are looking at the unification of Italy from the south of Italy. And so, well, would you like to join? So I would like Arturo and Felice to talk about in which moment of their work decided to realize this short film, In Attesa dell'avvento. And can you tell us something about how you put together all the elements and the ideas and the materials also, because as you could see, there is a specific way of using, maybe a poetic way of using of footage films. Okay, well, first of all, good morning to everybody. And thank you to Marie-Pierre and the Venice Film Festival. We are very, very happy to be here. We are not used to. And so if we have some difficulties, well, you will forgive us. The film comes from a deeper project. A film against Italian history, against Risorgimento. It has to do with the roots of our identity. We are both from Calabria, and also at the basis of our political discourse. And our work is around Calabria, the history and life and manifestations in many ways of Calabria people. And so, for 150th anniversary of the unification of Italy, we thought about working with this difficult point for history, but not only for history. Of course, it is a very high complexity work, so processing this part of history is a difficult work. So after studying, working and writing about the kind of film we wanted to realize, we had the need to fix a point, also because there were unbearable celebrations that everywhere we are attending in Italy. So we were annoyed by all this, and so we decided to do this kind of punk film. And also the atmosphere and our soul is a little bit punk. It is a film to say that in a very direct way, and also to scream sometimes with a more direct language in comparison with our usual language. Well, we usually have a normal language. We are a work in progress. These works are work in progress. So we are using now a more direct language. So, as I said before, we started with the material we had. Above all, what we didn't realize we didn't use for Inamabile Azzurro, a former film that was filmed around Gioia Tauro, and our villagers, the people who are accompanying us in our work, and they are involved also in a dramaturgy work that is leading us towards new streets, new ways. This material was associated with other materials we had with us because we worked to some theater shows, theater plays about the riots in Reggio Calabria. And in 1861 of celebrations and 2011 of the present time, well, we realized during thinking about the film, it was clear for us to insert 1971, the riots in Reggio Calabria, that took place at the beginning of the 70s, between 1970 and 1972. So it was clear to us to use this reference and this joke with dates. But then, as the last thing, well, all these things are different from celebration and film realizations made from the unification of Italy. Well, our discourse is different from this because we don't want to explain the Risorgimento and the Italian history. Our starting political discourse is made by someone who is living in a sort of colony. The unification of Italy was a sort of conquer. So there was a submission of the southern part of Italy, like a colony. So we were interested in this permanent process, and we wanted to put it into this punk film, and in the work we are going to do so. The unification of Italy is a work in progress of colonization of the southern part of Italy. So we look to dates, but also to how this has repercussions in people from Calabria, and also in the problems that are present in Calabria as a territory. So it was the attention. We wanted to create a sort of dialectics between the archives and the bodies. The archive is a sort of future, the advent for modernity. In Calabria, disastrous things of an apocalypse have already been made. So we are trying to create bodies and landscapes, bodies/landscapes, history and future. And this is the reason why we studied for this film something new for us, even if we can recognize a clear way, a clear path. Well, archive, well, obviously, we liked, we wanted this sound work to become something important for images. This wasn't possible. It is something that we want to do again as an eternal present. I mean, something that, well, we are from Calabria, so we didn't face this kind of thing. So maybe this anniversary had rhetorical violence through many books and articles about history, and maybe it is possible to have a more honest point of view on history. So we have Giorgio De Vincenzi here, and he appreciated a lot of this. And so I was saying before that you, as a good art fan, could have seen something more in their work. Well, of course, the program was really interesting because we put together two common films. In your film, you have silence and vacuum points with no sounds, with no images, and the sudden appearance of pieces of discourse. I think that this is the principle of for building a new history that is not present. Like saying Calabria is a union of pieces that never had a real essence. So it is the false advent, the false coming of a negation, a denial. So I don't know if in this union, well, it is something that I remember. I don't know if it is important. Anyway, I remember about a sort of southern cinema in which there are bodies, there are still bodies. Well, this is something that goes beyond this principle of building of a piece. Yes, I wanted to answer to what Marie-Pierre said before. We didn't answer to the use of archive materials. This is a linguistic feature of our film. There is a refusal of history made of dates and events. I'm interested in historical processes. We refused also the documents and archives materials because it is usually used as a merchandise and it is quantified. So if you have a lot of materials that document history, your history has a higher value. We are against all this, and so we are trying to deconstruct archives. First of all, it is a study of the archives because each image can be deconstructed and it can talk to us. So if we don't consider it as a narrative document, the fact that this image can tell something, but it is just an image. So we can isolate the different elements. And so it will have a higher meaning, a stronger meaning, and we can use it. Well, we are in a certain sense we are just students. We can use it in a poetical way. Our aesthetics is aesthetics of the piece. We refused linearity in narration. We refused the cinema made of characters and histories. Reality has no beginning, development, and end, happy or negative ending. Anyway, reality is a continuum, and so we made references to other authors, Straub and Daniel Oyer. They talk about a cinema made of crystals in which the sense and expression is concentrated, and then there are vacuums in the middle. So it is a different way of using cinema. It is not passive, because the audience is not passive. So someone told us who could understand this film? We are interested in giving a tip, not in making audience understand. This is the temptation.
visto che ci ha raggiunto Pippo Delbono.
Well, Pippo Delbono is here with us with Irene Jacob. It is interesting, I think, to put together, as Giorgio De Vincenti said before, to put together these two films, because I think that this discourse about pieces, travels, it is the same as yours. Well, Giorgio, if you want to talk about what you said before, well, again, you can do something, yes. Well, I would talk about a cinema made of materials that can be invented and found, well, invented with the sense of finding, using vivid eye that can be led by things. And well, this is the biggest point of difference, the major difference, because there are different abilities. People has the ability to rethink in a really cool way all what he can meet with a process of association of ideas that we can see in the way some visual ideas are connected and overlapped. Quoting Eliot and Pasolini, and it is a cinema of materials in which the eye is fundamental because it is something that travels, as you said before, and leads toward experiments and experiences. But these are anyway rough materials. I don't know if you want to talk about this, people. There is never something that is linked towards the structure of the film, but there is never a piece or a material that is not reread in a poetic context, because in the end this film is very poetic. And I think that yesterday we felt this. Well, very good. This morning I am nervous because we couldn't invite here the author of a book about me. So I had problems with Balanescu, and well, you have a strong personality. You're from Calabria, so today it is not a good day. Well, no, wrath is not the correct word. Well, yes. Bobo was a very rough person, and he was the most interesting person to me. He danced with Mariana Esengio, who is one of the greatest dancers in the world. She worked at the opera in Paris, and Bobo danced with her. We cannot consider them indifferences. There are two different ways of dancing. Bobo is older in his way of dancing. Well, yesterday we saw the video about Clooney, and well, no, it's not me, it's Clooney, and now we were looking at the video of the conference. It is not us, it is the other. Well, we had to synchro the video. Well, today I quarreled with a great violinist, and then many things happened. And well, there is someone who was in television, and everybody is very happy. Well, I would like to go away from Venice. I can tell you, yes, I go. Bye. Well, I'm like this. As Balanescu said, well, he's angry, so he doesn't look to me. The life is too short. I think that everything... La vie c'est trop court. And, well, I will quarrel with you too about the dance of Agnese Schio. The word wrath is something different. I want to quote, si sta come d'autunno sugli alberi le foglie. That is, in the end, a wrath sentence, but we can consider other thought zones. And before I thought, well, they are really clever, and I thought me to be unlucky. Well, I always thought to be a little unlucky, because I don't know many things. Do you know this? No, no. Well, how many things you know? He loves Godard and he works with Godard and Delbono. Well, I'm exclusive. I don't know who Godard is anyway, it doesn't matter. He knows Godard and Delbono, but I think he's good. I don't know. Anyway, we will do it. I'm a bit jealous. About Godard, well, I was jealous. Now, well, I think, well, you're obsessive. This morning he was in my room. Well, there was Valenescu driving my car, one of the best violinists. There were people who carried my baggage, and well, your film struck me because I cannot understand it. Well, what is it? What is there in your mind? Is there something stronger than what you said before? Well, I know and I hate Calabria, but there is something in your images that shocked me. We are a bit arrogant, so your film was before mine, so well, I didn't feel well. But I thought, what? Well, there are two films here. There is not just one. We are not close. There are people who want to find commonalities between people, but there are not commonalities between me and you. And it is something. It is interesting if there is a beginning, a procession, and an end. Well, I do the same gestures of him. Yes. Well, really, yesterday Ghezzi said that I was with Chantal Ackerman. They quarreled yesterday, and there was also Garella, and Ghezzi said that are very right things. Well, the harmony that I feared, no, there are not casual things. The casuality, there is the casualty in living and in dying, but there are double endings. Well, I will have a film with many endings. Well, I will write the end and the end. Let's go, the end, etc. With many endings. He will be called. He will have a very strange title. It will be the avaricious, from the saving money there will be new limits, because the life is too short. We cannot put things away because everything is special, and maybe there will be double endings. And well, this morning I was thinking, well, yesterday I drank a lot, so well, life has an ending. There is something really special that is present in Buddhism, Buddhism, through meditation, we will have a new ending in our life. Love ends, and then it starts again. The same is for Cairo and also for Berlusconism. Everything starts again. There are many, many endings.
Guardate questo tempo storico, sembra che sia finita, tutte le donne in piazza sono finite.
This historical time seems to be ended. There was many people through the streets, but everything starts again. My next film will have 58 endings, different endings. So we have to pay attention not to become too interested in cinema, because if we destroy our rules, we become Berlusconist. So, well, cinema is just a hobby. I can do what I would like to do, and I think that it is well, the film is usually the film is just something that is put on the scene. The brain is, well, is something stupid. It's just shit. Well, the cinema is seeing in depth what happened when we saw Fellini, Pasolini, and that was a cinema that brought us in that non-understanding zone where there were 27 endings, different endings.
Anche lei ha fatto qualcosina, mi hanno detto prima. La Giacobbo, una storia strana,
Jacob's history was very strange. I saw the double life of Veronica. I never said it. I never saw it. I saw a film by Antonioni and Wenders. There was 4 short stories. And Al di là delle nuvole, for example, Beppe knows this because we have been working together for 30 years. So I was shocked by Giacobbe. Do you remember? Well, she made this history with a man who followed her. The story was written by Antonioni, where both of them wrote it. This man who followed a young woman, she's silent, and well, at a certain point, suddenly, well, it lasted 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden, we wondered what is happening. We didn't understand. I studied Eastern theater. I worked 5 years for a piece of 3 minutes. It was something disastrous. But the difference between a finger put like this or like this is used during editing. There are differences. So I could have difficulties in talking about differences, because there is not a great difference in the normal performance of an actress, psychological actress. In the eastern part of the world, each gesture is the beginning and the end of life. Every gesture is, well, Balanescu says, the life is too short. This gesture will be the first and the last one. Bobo uses that gesture. In his gestures, there are the extreme act of gestures. This is what you said before. Well, it is like a painting. And I think that cinema should be, well, history is linked. So just to come back to Giacobbo, well, she's always disturbing us. Well, we were presenting a short film with scientists. I was not very good in science at school. And this work starts with, well, physics in Paris. They were talking about physics in Paris. I couldn't understand. And in the end, we were realizing a short film And I thought, well, what should I do with this physics? I couldn't understand anything. I couldn't understand anything about science. So I don't agree with what the man, the physics said. What it is looking for. This is where the sentence comes from, the Big Bang, etc. It is from a discussion about CERN. So, well, there we have all stars, and they are afraid of what other people say. You know the reality of history. Every history comes from a deep travel. Can you say something about the chair? History. I wanted to end with the story about Giacobbo. She is my favorite actress. But I want to know her. So I went to Avignon. I want to know Jacob. Well, yes, I'm sitting there, and when I was sitting there, I saw her, and I thought, yes, oh well, we have Jacob here, Miss Jacob here.
all'asilo che lei già faceva cinema, no? E dico arriverà una signora vecchia.
We will have all the ladies. Yes, I miss Jacob. And then I saw this young lady, and I thought, well, she must be the daughter of Miss Jacobo. But then things changed, and well, today we are quite close friends. And once she said to me, but in the short film, well, it is not true. I didn't say anything. Well, she talked with Louise, and so I thought something, but it wasn't the right thing. So this is just to say that beyond a certain point, we realize our personal films that are not what there is in reality. But then we went away, and so this is what masters do, they change. We are here because we had masters and went to say thank you to them, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, there is a microphone for, well, after Jacob's intervention, there will be microphones for questions. We met in order to do a fiction that we never realized. We will never realize it, maybe. We started to talk, and I talked to Pippo about my father's work, who made researches, essential researches about the beginning of the universe, and then about his illness. And what he was interested in was the mystery of all this, the mystery of this research, the mystery of illness, and the mystery of the universe. We went to the CERN, where there was this research, and well, people wanted to film something, but he couldn't find something to film because everything is invisible. It seems to be the imps. Everybody was writing on their computers. And we went to the CERN one day, and they were very happy that we were there to film something, but people didn't know, he didn't want to film anything, just this image of the ball. He filmed it, but well, after Then we went in a room with computers, but he didn't film anything. Well, then he said we wanted to do a film about this, but we cannot film something from CERN because there are things that we cannot see. And then the subject became the invisibility of this research, the invisibility of this mystery, and also the knowledge of these people that they know many things, but they cannot say things because they are a bit lonely. I'm sorry for my Italian. Yes, I was honored to work with Pippo because I liked him. It is strange. Well, you're more charming when you are speaking Italian. She speaks Italian very well. I'm in Italy, so I must speak Italian. All the things we did with people in order to film something were scenes in which he tried to make his mobile phone work. There was not a film. Well, it doesn't work. And these images are in the film. Yes, one of the first framing that was made in Paris. Many things are made with a mobile phone, are filmed with a mobile phone. It is important to talk about a mobile phone. There is also another little room, another little chamber, but I used, well, a mobile phone essentially. And it is interesting to see how from such a little object we could create other framings. For example, on the Pyrenees, we used also a quite economic camera, but we are just talking about little cameras, nothing special. And then just to discover how a full HD camera, this had the same poetics of a mobile phone. There was something impressionist in that mobile phone. Something, well, for example, Irene, when she's in images made with an HD, she seemed to be younger, and it is different from the images filmed with a camera, with a mobile phone. Balanesco has this sort of happy atmosphere on her, but this music makes her be in a sort of tragic environment. Everything becomes a painting that is talking about maternity, and thanks to Alexander's music, that is fundamental. That music at that point makes Irene a sort of tragic painting. Irene in this moment is happy, but then she shows something else. Well, that's it. No, you have to talk about your... Well, this is a cinema for me. Well, now you are happy, now you're sad. No, don't worry. it will be the framing that makes you be understood. This is something essential in your cinema, and this is the reason why, even if on the internet there are many images made in the CERN, you do not insert all these in your film, because it is different to tell histories and to do experiences. So what is in your film is always something that you made as an experience. And this is the sign of different ways of doing cinema, and they cannot be put together. There is someone who tells stories, and there is someone who makes experience. There was an article on Corriere della Sera. Is there money here? Well, we have Pippo Delbono. He has HIV. No, well, I'm not. Well, I know if there is attention about me on a journal, on a newspaper. They don't want to write it because my mother doesn't know. My mother doesn't know this because the Corriere della Sera is not so much sold in Liguria. And my mother doesn't know that I'm seropositive, and well, my sister. I'm a little bit worried if my mother discovers that my sister divorced. But this has nothing to do with this. It is an experience anyway. In my film, I went to the doctor, and this becomes a comedy. I know the result of that test, but then it becomes comedy. If someone of you knows about heart, Sophie Calle, for example, I don't know if you know her. We realize many things together. I'm not explaining this to you, but it exists, it becomes cinema, and these are all elements. This film is like Ben-Hur. I have been walking around with my camera for 3 years, and there is something special at the CERN, that is something that rolls, and maybe it is a sort of souvenir, but you have an experience with you if you go to the CERN. There is something void. Everything comes from an experience. The history about the doctor, it is something made with the working with Sophie Calle, recreating something and filming it. It is essential that the cinema is fed with many other things. Families that are really boring. Another thing, this morning there is Pennacchi by the bank from Perugia, and I have a mortgage for a house in Perugia. I have to sign because otherwise the couple, there is a man and a woman that cannot get married, because I have to sign this document. And he told me, well, you know, they want to marry and they are waiting for your signature so that the bank will give them a mortgage so they can buy a home. It is so sad, all this. No, they won't go married because, well, they are waiting for me. Well, in this sense, this will become a film again. Oh, it's called Mr. Pennoni. No, I cannot talk with him this morning. You know, Mr. Delbono, they are waiting for you. They have been waiting for more than a year, and I can see these two people waiting for Mary, but are they gay? I cannot understand. No, it's just a joke. But this will become a film. I already have a new one. This is a point in which your cinema can meet theater. What do you think about this? Then we can listen to the audience. You look like Godard. And at a certain point, I will become a star. But, well, it doesn't work until now. Well, if there are questions, do you want a microphone and talk? And listening to you and listen to the two guys from Calabria, Felice and Arturo. I think that this aspect of this experience that is linked with a more material aspect. What you're talking about is a material approach to the cinema. Well, your mobile phone and your camera. So you will choose the best instruments for the texture of things. And then when you will be with Fabrizio, you will create what you had called a collision. It is something material in the cinema, in order to produce a third element that is not possible to understand and to explain. This is something that puts you in common. It is a global sense, and I will make references about the history of the cinema. There is a man here, well, the anniversary of Nicolas Ray, that says we can't go home again, and he can. It is made of experiences. This is a history, and it cannot be made because it happens in the head of what is working. This is the advent of the title. The histories come from the head of the people looking to that materials as a physics experiment. This is the ending. Pierre is clever. Yes, you wanted to quarrel, but after. I'm really shocked because everything has become. Oh, they do not understand anything about theater. If you go somewhere, nobody understands nothing. Well, they understand about cinema, and so they were important. They gave precise and important tips. I would quarrel with her with something else. Everybody will go away. But I'm happy that there is still something. We will go on the terrace, outside and ever. Well, thank you.